Welcome to the Telebs Optical LAN video series, How to Sell Telebs Optical LAN. This is the fifth in a sixth video series titled, Using the Challenger Sales Method. The purpose of this video is to teach you the best ways to position the unique value proposition of optical LAN using the Challenger sales model. The objectives of this video are to introduce the Challenger sales method as an ideal model for a complex sales environment and a means to break the status quo, and to demonstrate how by combining the Challenger sales method and Telebs Optical LAN, an integrator reseller can accelerate the sales of their core business. The Challenger model is an ideal selling method for complex and technical sales. Therefore, we need to go about this sales process differently. It's a means to differentiate the customer experience. Telebs Optical LAN is a great vehicle to have this type of dialogue because it is a unique and new way of looking at networking. By utilizing this, the integrators and resellers can accelerate the sales of their core solutions. By using this sales method, you can drive growth by disrupting the status quo. This is very important because we need to understand a customer's path of least resistance is continuing to buy active Ethernet. We must shake them out of this mindset. Telebs has experience with this. We started out selling passive optical LAN back in 2008, and we discovered the fact that it provides 70% cost savings, 80% energy savings, and 90% space savings. However, there is a problem. IT professionals and CIOs don't have KPIs for reducing the footprint of their IT infrastructure or energy savings. We all want to do good for the environment, however, CIO and IT professionals don't have the KPIs for that. It may fall to a facilities person or somebody specific to environmental management. Cost savings is not unique. Every vendor coming into the customer's office is talking about saving money. Even though the message looks good, it falls flat. With the help of CEB in 2015, we moved the messaging to simple, scalable, secure, and stable. We can use the simple and scalable relative to speaking to IoT and wireless connectivity. We can use security because that is top of mind with all CIOs and IT staff. Building more defensible and stable networks plays well with network availability. CIOs and IT staff do have KPIs based on network uptime. Therefore, we can impact that in a very positive way. Let's look into the CEB Challenger model. They did a study. The good news is that the sales experience is the overwhelming factor in building customer loyalty. Sales representatives that build loyalty will provide a unique and valuable perspective. They assist the customer in navigating different alternatives, different technologies, and even competitors. They help the customer avoid the landmines of staying with the status quo or perhaps going down the path of a competitor or different technology. They educate the customer on all the issues, good and bad, and potential outcomes of all the choices that their customers face. More traits of the Challenger-minded reps is that they tailor their messaging. They know their customer. They know the compelling value drivers that they're facing, and they can tie those to economic benefits. They teach their customer their unique perspective, and they listen just as much as they talk. That's how you pull out what is most important to your customer. Next, they're comfortable talking about difficult topics. Some topics may be uncomfortable to the customer, such as potential pitfalls or talking about money. Sales reps can even pressure the customer and challenge them. This is where the name of the sales model comes from. When you take this approach, you're building constructive tension. This is desirable and important because this will shake your customer out of continuing down the path of status quo. CEB provides an example using dental equipment. A feature-oriented sales rep may walk in and say, "My product is lightweight, it's ergonomically designed, it's revolutionary, and your hygienists are going to love it." This leads with all the feature benefits. Unfortunately, the customer has already heard this from all your competitors, and it just falls short. It gets lost in the clutter. It's not compelling to the customer to lead with your unique benefits. With the Challenger method, you do some research. You find out that the dentist has a real problem with absenteeism and higher turnover of hygienists. Through research, you may discover that they have the potential for carpal tunnel syndrome, creating higher instances of injury and medical expenses. The teaching-oriented sales rep says, I understand you're struggling with absenteeism and turnover. I know you're worried about the medical expenses around carpal tunnel syndrome. They would also describe their product as lightweight, ergonomically designed, and revolutionary. However, they would go on to explain that the dentist will save money because they will lower absenteeism and turnover rate, as well as protect them against medical expenses. What you've done is you've captured the customer's attention. You've led them to the unique benefits of their product. It's a much more compelling way to position your product. Let's walk through how our presentation might look in front of a customer. You're going to have to tackle positive topics and negative topics. Here's how it plays out. First, you do your warmer. You introduce yourself. You need to express why you are an expert on this topic. Then you do the reframe. Explain that you understand security as a concern. You understand they're looking at certifications and compliances for an IT network. You explain it's more important to build a risk management framework. It's less important to do the certifications and compliances because you're never going to get out in front of the perpetrators. You need to set up a risk management framework and then start talking about all the negative things around an insecure network. But don't stop there. Make it personal. You give them an example relative to their market. You cite instances where their competitors had network breaches and what it cost them in terms of money and reputation. This sets up an introduction to a new way of securing the network, passive optical LAN. It's a more defensible network. It has less points of vulnerability. This will hook your customer. Then begin talking about your company and talk about how your company with Telebs Optical LAN provides the best solution. You can see it's an emotional roller coaster, and don't be afraid to take your customer into the negative. Let's tie this back to passive optical LAN. We produced this simple, scalable, stable, and secure solution. You can use this to tailor to your customer. If they do have security concerns, you can talk about how optical LAN reduces network vulnerabilities. It's a more secure LAN architecture tested and deployed by the U.S. Department of Defense. It provides a stronger cybersecurity posture that can save millions in breach prevention. The system is simple and scalable. This can be tied to IoT connectivity and wireless. It's a software-defined technology today. It's centrally managed. It automates installation and operation of the OLTs, ONTs, services, devices, and the users accessing it. So it has greater operational efficiencies that can save tens of thousands of dollars year over year. Perhaps network uptime is a concern. This is an architecture that has less than 5 minutes of annual downtime, and we can even design it in a manner to where it has less than 30 seconds of network downtime. It is industry-leading protection of the OLTs across the cards and across the ports. It can provide better network availability compared to alternatives, and that can save money each year as well. And if you need to talk about price and how it saves CapEx and OpEx, you save that for the end. This concludes this video. In it, we have introduced the Challenger sales method as an ideal model for a complex sales environment and a means to break the status quo, and to demonstrate how, by combining the Challenger sales method and Telebs Optical LAN, an integrator reseller can accelerate the sales of their core businesses.